Am I the a-hole for calling off the wedding after my fiance joked he was trapped in this marriage? My fiance proposed 3 months ago. It was a beautiful, intimate proposal, and I loved the idea of telling our future kids about his proposal. I was really excited to plan my wedding. I work in the events industry, and this sort of thing is my passion. My fiance has ADHD and finds planning very boring. His default response is whatever you want, so I've had full creative freedom, but I'm a little sad he didn't contribute to anything, even the color scheme. My fiance and our friends were talking about the wedding. I was telling them some of my plans to cut costs down, and my friend made a joke that it was a good thing my fiance locked me down because I'm a professional. My fiance joked that he didn't lock me down, I locked him up. He said he was trying to enjoy his last days of freedom before I trapped him in the marriage. I felt really upset that he didn't acknowledge my hard work in planning the wedding, and because he joked that I was trapping him into marriage and that I pushed him into getting married. I decided we should call off the wedding for now. He wasn't interested in getting married. I don't want to marry someone who doesn't enthusiastically want to get married. I talked to my fiance and said that I'm going to call off the wedding plans and we could reevaluate if he really wants to get married or even stay in this relationship. We haven't sent out RSVPs or booked too many vendors yet, so I want to call it off before it becomes even more expensive mistake. He was very upset that I called off the wedding and said he was just joking. He said it was normal to joke about this. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I've talked with him about his lack of enthusiasm about anything. I don't even need him to have initiative, but an opinion would be nice. He said he doesn't care about the details at all. I let it go after I felt like I was nagging him to have an opinion on something. The joke made me realize that he probably doesn't want to get married. That's where his lack of enthusiasm comes from. We were pretty early into wedding planning, and I want to call it off because weddings are expensive and I'm not sinking more of my money into uncertainty. Figuring out whether he wants to get married will take time, and time is money. I can work with him on figuring that out, but I can't keep a wedding timeline with that. Top comment, not the a-hole. Why do people still think it's funny to joke about hating your spouse, being trapped, the old ball and chain, and so forth? You made the right call, and I couldn't agree more because I hate when people do like the whole, oh, I hate my wife, I hate my husband, I hate my marriage, I don't want to go home early because, I have to see my family. Like, I really do not like that. I've never liked that. I never understood the whole point of being married to someone or being in a relationship with somebody you genuinely do not like. Like, what enjoyment do people get out of that? And I feel like people are gonna say, well, he was just joking. Jokes just sometimes are not jokes. Sometimes people say what's in their head and what's in their heart, and things like these are not funny. They play out later in life, 10, 20 years from now on, when they're deep into this marriage. They have a couple of kids, mortgages, this and that. That's not gonna be funny. So I'm so happy for OP. I'm so glad she actually has the brain cells not to be doing things she has no business doing. AI getting married. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend my brother isn't serious about her? I'm the youngest of 3 siblings and my eldest brother is already married. He married an Indian girl that my parents arranged for. My other brother is going to also have an arranged marriage and he says he's okay with that. But in the meantime, he's still dating other girls and making it seem like he is serious about them. But then he will discard them later. In my culture, losing your virginity before marriage is still taboo for girls. Guys can apparently do whatever they want. My friend likes my brother and he knows that and is now dating her. I know he will probably try to have her give up her virginity for him, and I think it will break her heart to do that and then have him dump her. My friend is half Indian and from her mom's side is from another social class, so my parents would never consider her. My parents are already in talks with the family, and my brother has been chatting with that girl online. He will probably go back home to meet her after this fall. My brother has my friend convinced he will marry her once they are done university. I have been friends with her for nearly a decade. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but I did, and told her my parents and my brothers planned to have an arranged marriage. She was crying because she had already given her virginity to my brother. A week later, my brother comes to me mad because my friend broke up with him, and in their argument made it clear she knew he was going through with marrying another girl, and it's just stringing her along. He is extremely angry with me because no one else could have told her. I admitted it was me, and he yelled at me that is not any of my business. This is literally so sad. It's so sad how misogynistic people at a certain demographic can be, because first of all, I'm so happy that OP did this for her friend. OP is definitely a girl's girl, and I love that for her. But it's so sad how some men from different, like from certain demographics, know what they want for their lives and what they're gonna do and what they're gonna end up doing anyways. But they string random little white girls or random girls from other cultures along, and they use them like they're some, what do you call it? Some toy to be played with and pleasured with themselves with. And then as soon as they know when they're going to get married or their family finds something for them, boom, now they're discarded. It's so disgusting. And you would think like this doesn't happen a lot, but it happens a lot. Like you would think like, damn, how many times have I heard a story of certain men from certain demographics? And I'm Somali, so dudes be doing that too. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, like how many times have I heard stories of like a man doing this to some poor girl, either especially like to another white girl, because usually they don't do this within their culture, because like the girl said, like OP said, girls in that certain culture, they don't do that because then nobody's gonna marry them, so they have to watch out. So they do this to like especially white women and things like that, and then like they just use this poor girl, they string her along, they make her feel wanted, they break her virginity, they just use her just for, what do you call it, just to pleasure themselves. And as soon as their little mommy and their little daddy finds them a little nice girl from their culture who hasn't seen not a man, not even the sun a day in her life, then boom, the poor girl they've been with for years and years and promising to marry her and promising to do all this and breaking their virginity and everything for them, they're gonna discard her. And it's such a sad thing, and it's just so, like, it just makes me so annoyed how misogynistic, disgusting, and disrespectful certain men are. Like, that's, ugh, I don't want to talk about it, but yeah, what do you guys think? Am I the a-hole for implying my fiance is paranoid for thinking my mom is going to wear white to our wedding and not wanting to have a talk with my mom? I am currently 2 months from being married to the love of my life, Claire. I don't think my mom is a big fan of her or vice versa, but this is some crazy mother-in-law story. My mom hasn't done anything. It's just tense, awkward feeling when they are both together. Claire admits to not liking my mom and to sharing my suspicion that my mom doesn't like her. I watch carefully for any actual disrespect, but unfortunately I can't make them like each other. Claire is upset because my mom doesn't have her dress yet. All of Claire's family and friends are over the moon about this wedding, and my mother-in-law has had her dress picked for months and even had a big shopping day with Claire. My mom keeps saying she hasn't had time yet, which has been stressing Claire, as she is a huge perfectionist who hates leaving anything until the last moment. Claire admits she has been super stressed and wedding obsessed lately. She recently came to me and said she was concerned my mom wanted to wear white. I asked why, and she said because why else wouldn't she have a dress yet? I pointed out that we all know my mom's lazy and a touch selfish. When she says she's too busy, we both know she means skiing and hanging out with her boyfriend, not actually busy. But she has done nothing to indicate she would show up like that. She's a pretty chill person and hasn't done anything to Claire. Claire said I was implying she was paranoid. I said I felt the wedding stress was getting to her. She admitted it was, but asked if I would talk to my mom. I said sure. I remind her that she needs to get her dress. Clara asked if I would specifically talk to her about the fear of wearing white. I thought about it for a minute and said I wasn't comfortable doing that when she has given us no reason to think she would. Claire got annoyed and said she was being a bad future mother-in-law by not having her dress, and I need to stop worrying about my mom's feelings and worry more about hers. That made me feel like bad person because up until this point I felt I have only been prioritizing her feelings.